Hey guys, Ultra Maximus back with another Transformers review. This time we're going to do a retro review on the 2007 Michael Bay film Transformers, Deluxe Class Bumblebee. Yes, I do have a few Michael Bayformers in my collection. I'm generally not a particular fan of these figures, but I did try to give them a chance. So I've had this guy, well, since the first Transformers film came out, but I've never done an actual review on this guy. So, while I'm not a huge Michael Bay Transformers fan per se, I do enjoy the films. The toys, they just don't generally cut it for me. There are some, I will admit, I do like. This particular one is kind of iffy on me, so I'll try to be as neutral as possible on this review. So here he is in his robot mode. Now, this is the version of Bumblebee in the Concept Camaro alternate mode. I do have the original 70s or 80s, 70s or 80s Camaro. I want to say it was a 70s Camaro. The crap Camaro, as Shia LaBeouf put it. I do have that one as well, and I'll probably do a review on him at some point. But I just happened to see this guy laying around, and I thought I would talk about him. So, here he is. It's an okay figure, I suppose. Now, there are things I like about this figure, things I appreciate about this figure, and things that are just downright terrible about this figure. One, I do appreciate the detail on the figure. I mean, it is actually very movie accurate for a toy. I mean, we do have some kibble with the windshield hanging off and the door panels hanging off and the back of the vehicle kind of back here. So, you know, that's kind of but the detail otherwise is actually really good. I love how we have the Chevrolet emblem there. I love how we have the license plate right there. And I'm interested, and I don't know what the 4NZZ Z454. I wonder if that means anything in particular. And if you ever watch my reviews, I'm always complaining how there's not any license plates painted on the figures. It's ironic we have one on this guy's crotch. I mean, it was in the film there, but in his vehicle mode, it doesn't exist. So, yeah. There it is, I guess. I do love the color scheme on him. The guy looks well done. I love the paint. I love the plastic caps. I love the yellow color. I love the black. I mean, just all around, the body paint scheme is really good. I love the doors with the translucent windows. They look amazing, and I like how they kind of give him his little wings. That was probably one of my favorite bits about Bumblebee. Now, I also like the small black Autobot logo. I like how it's there. It matches the paint scheme. I think that was pretty cool. This is a relatively stable figure. It stands well, and it's very posable. He has a ball socket in his hip, his waist. His hips have ball sockets. The knees bend. His foot is very, very articulate, and in fact, the back piece makes him very easy to pose and very easy to stand. So this guy can spin his chest this way. You get some real great articulation in his legs. The arms are pretty articulate. The wrist spin. He's got elbows. He's got his shoulder joints. And his head is on a ball socket. So the figure and the wings actually move around. You can fold them in and out and move them up and down. So it's a really articulate figure. I will give it that, and I like that. I enjoy that. I do not like the face. I never did like Bumblebee's face from the film. I will say, when he put his battle mask down, I did enjoy that. And there were a few figures on the 2007 line, and I think some of the subsequent lines that actually had that battle mask. Unfortunately, this is not one of the figures. It does have light piping on the back of the figure's head. However, it does not show through. This particular figure has some really bad paint apps around its face, which is unfortunate because the rest of the figure has pretty decent paint apps. There is some bleed over on the yellow, if I can get that zoomed right. There's some bleed over on the yellow, on his arms. So, I mean, there's some slop here and there, but all in all, not too terribly bad. I do appreciate the complexity that they try to put into this figure. It is one of the more complex deluxe figures that has been put out there. All of the Bayformers really kind of went that way, but I think it's just too much. The Bayformers just look too much like bugs. I know he wanted them to look alien-like, but they're robots. They need big, bulky armor, and when you try to make them small and thin and all kinds of weird beady points, it really just doesn't work. Now, he also has a weapon here that pops out. Let's see if I can... it kind of flips back and gets this kind of blade thing going on. Reminds me of Bumblebee Animated, which actually came out after this. It's an okay gimmick, I suppose. Not too terribly impressive. But, I mean, all in all, it's not too bad. Even the backside of the robot looks pretty decent. I mean, we've got some kibble bits here, obviously the windshield here, and the wings. The wings are fine. It's really the door panels. I wish those folded up over into the arms, and we had something more to do with this, and maybe have that fold up. I don't know. I'm not the toy designer, but all in all, I mean, it doesn't look bad as far as just generally looking at it as a robot. I can deal with it. It's better than other figures, I suppose. So let's take a look at the Camaro mode and see what we think about it. Alright, so here we have Bumblebee in his Camaro mode. And I do have to say, it is a good-looking Camaro mode. I do like it. It looks pretty darn good. I love how, let's see if I can get it on the camera here. It does say Camaro in silver letters right on the door where it would say in real life. It's got some very nice details. It's got the door handle. It's got some nice detailing here. Of course, we talked about the Chevy logo up front. It has painted head or fog lamps. The headlights are inset and painted. I love the black stripes. The windows are just tinted enough. You can't really see that much of the robot inside. The wheels look very accurate, which is nice. We have the gas cap on the top there, which looks really nice. We have painted headlights. I always love that. Again, no painted license plate, which kind of stinks. We do have painted tailpipes, which is kind of cool. And you know, I mean, there's a little bit of robot kibble underneath, but all in all, it's not that bad. It actually looks really, really good. I gotta say that, you know, this thing probably hasn't been transformed in years, and it was actually pretty easy. I didn't have to look at any instructions, didn't go online. It all fit together pretty well. There are a lot of little panels and parts. I mean, lots of little panels that go together on this car. And you see that, but to be honest, in the transformation, it's relatively easy, and all those complex panels actually do pop together relatively well in a smart fashion. So I have to give it to the engineers. They did a good job as far as getting it from one mode to the other, you know, logically, and getting all those little panels to fit. So I can't really complain about it. I think they did a pretty good job with it. Overall, you know, I gotta say, I do like the figure. I'm not a huge fan of the Bayformers. I like how it looks like a real existing car in real life, and it turns into a relatively movie-accurate robot. So, that being said, I don't particularly care for Bumblebee's head design. I think the robot has a little too much going on with it. I can appreciate the complexity to it. It does work out well, and it's not a bad figure. If you like the Michael Bay Transformers movies, then you're definitely going to like this figure. If you haven't picked it up, if you come across one at a flea market, if you come across one at BotCon, and it's at a decent price, this is definitely a pretty decent little figure to pick up. I will say that. I don't think I would pay more than $10 for this figure, but it's actually not a bad figure. And it kind of kills me to say that. So there he is, Bumblebee, from the original Michael Bay Transformers film in 2007. Thanks for watching, guys, and look for more videos in the future.